Welcome to another edition of the Sportsport. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sportsport here on a Wednesday, opening day eve.
That's right, baby.
And today is the Barnes, Tony, and Zach show. How you fellas doing?
I'm doing great, man. Stoked to be here, dude. On this little hump day action. A lot of baseball to talk about, some golf, some hockey. And of course, dude, we had a great night, I guess. Stayed up late for that Rangers game. Unfortunate loss. But hey, you know, I mean, it is what it is, dude.
Yeah, I mean, at least now there's nothing to worry about. I mean, it's over. And I know, yes, it's still not over, but it's over, right? I mean, I'm seeing triple zeros right now.
Triple zeros,
meaning like in terms of them making the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like how many? I mean, come on. It's like me with the grids when I miss 4 in a row. Oh, just one more.
Yeah, true. But I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, listen, I will stand by what we said, and we went through the schedule. The first game against the Kings on the road was a loss.
Okay, so this was the first of that 11 games.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, you know,
and we did have it as
the loss, and we said they can still make it up. So obviously, we are lucky that I believe the Canadiens got pounced on last night too.
And
I think
the
even
Blue Jackets
Columbus
lost.
Lost too. So we're kind of getting a little bit lucky right now. So it's possible. But I mean, I'm still feeling, yes, Brian, if we do make the playoffs, I mean, what are the odds that we make it deep from the way we're playing right now? None. That's when you can see triple zeros.
I mean, it's just too many telltale signs. And I have to say, I'm just tired of it. I'm over it. You know, I think it's just time for change. And you know, Rick was alluding today on DNR that you must killing Drury. He'd love to like be in the box with him watching a game. And I guess I didn't realize this. I thought you're going to be like, good for him that he won the Little League World Series at one point, Chris Drury.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in that Trumbull team.
I didn't know that.
88 or whatever it was, dude. Yeah, and you know, that was obviously a big claim to fame. It actually is a pretty tremendous story with those guys.
It is.
I think it was the first time that like a non-Japanese or Asian team won the Little League World Series. I guess like Japan was dominating.
Okay.
So first American team to do so. They're in Trumbull. It was obviously the ragtag group, basically Bad News Bears, which I know probably goes over your head, Brian. But but yeah, he did win.
Yeah, Bad News. Oh my God. Well, who's the guy in that?
In the remake or the original? Because they made a ton.
I guess
Billy Bob Thornton was the remake.
Yes. Oh my God, Billy Bob Thornton. I mean, that's with the Carries and the Farrells. It's just like
Billy Bob.
But it's just like, okay, so you're just gonna say like inappropriate stuff, just swear every second. It's hilarious. Like, I don't know.
It's a little funny, yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's a little over the top.
No. I can see. I mean, I expect it from you, Brian. I'm not surprised here. Okay, should be no surprise to anyone watching right now.
Wait, and is he in Dodgeball or no?
No. He was in Bad Santa.
Oh my God, that's another one. Bad Santa. Oh my God.
All right. Dude.
Anyway, one thing I do see we have a couple of comments. One thing I just wanted to mention first, and I know we had talked about this, I think last year at some point. Is the fact that it's still unbelievable because I saw actually JD reposted this on Twitter that Nolan Ryan never won a Cy Young.
How crazy is that?
I mean, that's like saying, you know, that like Verlander and, you know, Kershaw, Sabathia, Randy Johnson. That's like saying those guys. Because I mean, is he not better than those guys? I mean, I don't know. I guess because he had a lot of walks. His ERA was a little high. I guess that's what they were trying to allude to.
But I mean, when you think about just innings pitched, strikeouts, velocity, just overall impact on the team that he's had too. I mean, like it is pretty crazy they never won the Cy Young.
Listen to these stats though.
Yeah, what do you got?
7 no-hitters, most ever. 12 1-hitters, most ever. 18 2-hitters, most ever. 32 3-hitters, most ever. 5,714 strikeouts in a career, most ever. 383 Ks in a season, most ever. 300 plus strikeouts season 6 times, most ever. And 200 strikeouts 15 times, most ever.
Greatest pitchers of all time.
Yeah. I mean, that's really just crazy. And I'd love to see, I guess he finished second one time, but that's one of those that doesn't make sense.
Very big head scratcher, dude. And they talk about, I think back then he has pitches recorded at 105 miles per hour.
He was an absolute animal.
And they were recording them at home plate as opposed to now when they kind of record them closer to the mound.
Right.
So they could be even throwing faster than that. Obviously people, I guess speculate about, the technology wasn't really maybe that great back then. But still, dude, I mean, the guy was, had such a long-standing career, and like you said, I mean, leading the league, having those records, holding true to today is kind of crazy, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do see we have a bunch to get to, but we'll start. Michael Butka's in here, but also we got Ernie and Josh B.
Yeah, dude. Let's get to some comments here. Why not, dude? I got a few. You said early and often. Michael Buckday says, "Good morning, fam. Let's have a day. Woke up thinking it was Friday, and it was actually Wednesday." Fuck, he says. I'm a master at that immaculate grid. I'm scoring 100%. I will say, Michael, I'm really excited that you're into the grid, dude. Honestly, it's
leaps
sick.
and bounds.
Leaps and bounds for sure from the first one. Also, Barnes, did you mean that? Here we go again, dude. Beard Disney. He wants to make sure he's not going to Disney, Michael. He doesn't like it. Okay, it's Billy Bob. It's Billy Bob. Okay.
And what I would say, like the one possible exception at some point would just be like, we're going to the Orlando Magic game. We're going to the Arnold Palmer Invitational. We're doing a golf trip. Then, Michael, if you wanted to do, have the drinks in Epcot or whatever, like just the drinks, just drinking, Tony.
Just the around the world.
Or in Disney Springs, I would do something like that. But I'm not going any rides, Michael. So let's just cement that in stone.
That is cemented, okay? All cleared up now. Michael Buckter also says, shout out to Josh B. Said he had a little contact with him.
A little contact, wow.
Dude. I don't know if that was good contact or bad contact, but he had some contact with him yesterday evening. And he says, Barnes, picking favorites we are, Michael. You're my number one buddy from DTV. I still love everyone else, but Barnes just hits different. The iconic voice, dude, when it comes to sports. Can't wait for the grid today, he says. Ernie says, dude.
Let's go, Michael.
Josh B, outside of the confines of corporate America, it seems. Yo, what up, fam? And then Ernie says, chill, Barnes. Slapstick dry comedy is lit.
Yeah,
for Brian.
I don't know. I think people try too hard sometimes, and I want to start the movement where we stop trying so hard and we become more organic. Because you can't tell me, Tony, of all the shows, as we approach 1,000. Okay,
we are approaching
how many laughs as we're 8 away? How many laughs that we've had that like just it wasn't planned,
right? Like
something just happened. Like, how is that not the funniest thing? Not
that
Billy Bob, just saying the same dirty jokes 100 times in a row and just saying fuck at the end of it. I mean, it's just not funny, Tony.
And then Michael Buckton wants to know if you're pumped for baseball tomorrow, which, I mean, needless to say, Brian.
You already know, Michael. Hitting
Absolutely,
it on the
dude.
head.
And I guess he's predicting Red Sox right here on 80 wins.
Sucks, he says.
Oh, he does say Red Sox will get 80-ish wins because, injuries will haunt them, which is possible. And then he goes, I'm a big ride guy. I like a lot of things, Barnes. I like a little bit of everything.
I mean, listen, Michael. Everybody has.
He's a man of many things, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody likes.
And then Ernie says The Office is top 3, not 2 or 3. Interesting.
Office. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
No. I was gonna say I feel like there's some of it I could handle.
Really?
Like back in the day when we all used to chill at Pooch's basement. Actually, this was Monroe way back. He'd always have it on. So there'd be a certain episode would be okay, but then it's just again with Michael Scott or Steve Carell, whatever you want to say.
It's a lot.
Just like the complete, like it's like okay, like you know what I mean?
No, I know what you're saying, dude.
Yeah, I just think moderation is key. That's all.
And then Ernie says tickets are in.
Where are you sitting, Ernie? Because I guess
for tomorrow?
he's going Sunday. He said.
Oh, okay, cool, dude. Cool.
So kind of interested to see where he is there. But yeah, Yankees by 1 million tomorrow. I love that, Michael Bucket. What were you gonna say, Tony?
I'll take these, dude. No, I was looking at tickets for the Mets home opener. I kind of like where we were sitting last year, dude.
Dude, I know.
Right? I'm thinking that.
And they've went down. Talk about by 1 million. I'm pretty sure at one point they were like about 200.
They're like 115, 130.
Yeah.
So
that's the classic
dude.
wait out.
Let's go, dude. Yes.
Yeah. So that's gonna be 1 week from Friday.
I was looking at some food as well that they're serving, dude.
And I saw a third year in a row, which I guess I did. I'm trying to think. I haven't really had too much there, so I guess I could just see. But supposedly they had the best. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe I had a sausage and peppers one time that I thought was
so
pretty good.
dude.
But what and I don't know if they still have Shake Shack. I don't know. I didn't think it was good.
I mean, Shake Shack is good, but I'm not going to go
not there though.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to a ballpark.
How could it be as good? How could it be as good?
And also, there's one in Westport I can go to any day. You know. So the sausage and peppers is great. There's a stand right next to Shake Shack that does a filet mignon cheesesteak, dude.
Yes.
That's fire.
Yes.
There's a little pizzeria too on the other side of like right to the right of Shake Shack. That's solid. The Sicilian slice I've had there. But honestly, dude, like obviously the classic ice cream and the baseball helmet.
No, the ice cream. Didn't I have that last year?
Yes, you did, dude. So good. I think I got a couple dogs and fries.
That's the
classic
organic
stuff,
thing I'm talking
dude.
about there.
Yeah.
That answer right
but
there.
Dude, this year, I think for $15 you can get a bucket of 20 chocolate chip cookies.
That's kind of crazy.
So I mean, I'm kind of like, and I saw some guy tweet it, and I was like, "Yo, dude, like, were they kind of hot and soft?" And he said they were. So it's like,
all right. So I mean, that's something that I can keep an open mind to at Citi Field. That's probably the only thing with the Mets, but I will definitely do that. So, but what would you say though if you had to just go number one, like no dessert, cookies, ice cream, but for like regular food, what would be
dogs and fries?
Dogs and fries.
Yeah, just your classic deal, hot dog and fries.
But have you had? Because I thought the sausage and pepper was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I've had it,
and maybe I had a cheesesteak one time too.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'll try something like that.
Yeah, dude, I'm dead. Yeah. Oh yes, dude.
Yeah,
yes.
So a lot on the horizon.
Yeah, dude.
And Ernie says Sunday I'm doing outfield section 104,
nice,
which is great.
Yeah, it's great.
And it says I'm at FanDuel. Yeah, he did send me some. I guess supposedly hit
really,
4K
dude?
last year, opening day.
No shit.
Chicky Pete's at Yankee Stadium is a must. That was a late addition. That actually is from AC.
No kidding.
It's a 2-level sports bar, but they have like crab stuff there too.
Okay.
So that's something to consider. And then Michael Bucket asked if we like Legos.
What the fuck is that?
I mean, I'll put together a Lego more so than I would watch, a Jim Carrey stand up, Michael. But that's about it.
Have you ever put together a Lego set?
Probably when I was younger. Yeah. Which it was younger, I was fine. But it's like, I mean, it's just not there right now. But yeah, there's a lot of random stuff to get to, and just usually start with the golf. But just some headlines kind of around the world of sports yesterday. Ooh. The big one, locally anyway, Russell Wilson heading to the New York Giants, 1-year deal. 10.5 guaranteed, $21 million with incentives. And this is on the heels of last week, the Giants signing Jameis Winston. So now they have 3 quarterbacks if you throw in Tommy DeVito. Last year, Wilson, 24-82, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I think it was something like they lost their last 5 games, I want to say, after a hot start, flamed out in the playoffs. I mean, of course, he represents a huge upgrade from what they were working with last year with Daniel Jones and I'm trying to think who else made Drew Lock. Drew Lock.
That's right, dude.
And Tommy DeVito. But it's just, I think this just kind of speaks to why it was such a terrible decision by John Mara to keep Dable and Shane, because they're doing stuff to try to get as good as possible. But then they're talking about DNR. Even with this, their win total is set at 3.5. So it's like you're not it doesn't feel like you have a chance going in. I mean, maybe they could be better than that. I mean, is there any world that you guys see, and let's say they assume they have a good draft where they could win, I don't know, 8 or 9 games? I mean, it just doesn't seem like anybody really thinks that.
I don't know about 8 or 9, but I can see like 7, to be honest. I think 3.5 or whatever it's at is kind of low, dude. Because like you said, I mean, there is a massive upgrade here at the quarterback position. And I mean, we're not even talking about just like ability, which, obviously Russell Wilson could bring more to the table than Daniel Jones did, but also just, I feel like knowledge, experience, just general demeanor for the rest of the team. So I feel like everybody's going to play a little bit better with Russell Wilson, and not for nothing. I mean, this guy did play well, like for the Steelers last year. Like, I mean, obviously,
especially to start.
Yeah, it started phenomenal, and not for nothing, he was also nursing the ankle injury, right, to start the year a little bit, which is why Fields got the start. So I mean, I don't know if he's totally healthy to start the year. I mean, I can easily see them getting 4 or 5 wins, and then maybe even sneaking out a couple more. I'm not sure what their schedule, if it's out yet.
I guess they have one of the toughest schedules in the whole league. I think they play the AFC North, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's kind of tough, dude. But I guess we'll see. I mean, again, it depends on where the draft situation is going. But I mean, it does kind of. I mean, it is kind of odd to me that they do have Jameis Winston also.
Yeah,
right?
I
Like,
guess.
why?
I guess just depth, but then maybe but which doesn't make sense again because what are you going to wait 6 years to draft a quarterback that they're not going to draft a quarterback or draft somebody not in the first round and go with Travis Hunter?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the speculation is as we're still a month away from this draft, that they may draft somebody else, have him under Wilson, and then obviously the Dable and everyone kind of will have a year of some somewhat solid football under their belt this year to be like, okay, we can keep their jobs. And then they have a quarterback that's being developed. Let's give them a few more years. People also say that they don't draft the quarterback and then go for Archie the following draft still.
But I mean, I think it seems like a long time to wait.
It does. But I guess to that point, people are saying how the draft class of quarterbacks for this year is just like not that enticing in general. What do they have, the third pick right now?
Yeah.
And they're talking about potentially maybe they'll trade up. But it doesn't really seem like
ridiculous.
That, dude. Yeah, it seems like the Titans will be having that first pick, right? Then who's at 2?
Cleveland.
Cleveland's at 2.
Cleveland. And I think I just saw a draft when I was at the gym yesterday, and they had the quarterbacks going 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Shadur going to Cleveland.
Right.
So, I don't think you're going to take Dart at 3.
No.
You could take someone like yours in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe this is like we were kind of talking about like the saboteur yesterday. Maybe this was done on purpose that you just want to have new regime, new quarterback the following year. So let's just let these guys go out there, be terrible, and then have the new coach start over with the quarterback that we actually want. I guess.
Oh yeah.
But it seems like Mara is like very fed up with the way like losing, like being embarrassed. 10-game losing streak last season.
Yeah, not great. And I don't know. I mean, I think Wilson does want to win. So I don't think this is going to be like a tank season for them. Honestly, dude, if they're smart, like draft some offensive linemen, draft better, edge rushers, draft a couple more receivers, maybe, But I feel like if you bolster this offensive line, maybe you can get a later round running back or something. If you have good blockers in front of him, he can help Russell Wilson on the ground. Wilson will feel more protected. He can swing the ball downfield.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you can get like these kind of ancillary players that are going to be super important. And then, all right, next year, draft a quarterback. And then you have that established O-line, that established run game, to help him out and develop him. But I guess we'll see. I mean, there's, obviously I'm sure going to be a lot more speculation in the upcoming weeks. But I would say overall for the Giants, I think it's a good move. I don't think there's much risk. Maybe you're paying a lot for Wilson, but I mean, I think
1-year commitment.
Yeah, it's a 1-year commitment, and I think you're going to be milking the last of football out of him right now. So that's great.
And the one thing I can think about too is just, I mean, not that he didn't already have a great year last year with nothing at quarterback, but maybe Malik Neighbors, the deep ball that Wilson will find him, and then if they do draft somebody that he can kind of be a wealth of knowledge for a rookie quarterback. What do you think about the Wilson scenario, Zach?
I think it's very low risk, like 1-year deal, not a bad deal. And I think between him and Jameis, it kind of shows like I really think they're going to wait to draft somebody until next year.
Which it's crazy how long they've been waiting. But then that makes me think that, like I said, that the plan is like let these guys just fall on their face and then let's get the new regime in next year.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for. And honestly, like you said, I think like 7 wins, maybe. I don't think they're going to be as bad as last year. But at the same time, I just think like they're going to go and try and get somebody else. They're looking at this quarterback class and going, like it's not that great, I personally think Shedeur is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would take him if you have the chance to take him. He kind of reminds me of Jaden Daniels, like that same type of like demeanor, like he's going to be a pro. But I don't know. I think people are looking at this draft class and are going, I can sit out until next year,
And do you think that, like I'm saying, that is the plan to reset next year? Or do you think that, let's say they win 7 games, that Dable and Shane can come back?
I think this is like by design because I think they really like Dable.
Yeah.
And they saw what he could do with a good team. So they want to keep him. So I think they're just trying to kind of give him more chance. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's that great,
No.
I've never, that playoff year, I felt like they were on top of the world with him, but I don't know. The last few years hasn't been anything to write home about,
I mean, does it not scream offensive coordinator?
Oh, yeah.
He's a good OC, but not a coach, almost like Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, exactly like that. So at this point, Brian, if you had to choose either New York team, who do you think has the better quarterback right now?
The Jets.
really, in Fields.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, he definitely has, some accuracy problems, but I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna, and I know it's like, I mean, how could you anything go with the Jets? But I just feel like they're really gonna capitalize on his running ability. And I like the fact that you're pairing him with a college teammate. I mean, I know, yes, it's not going to be Burrow and Chase, but that's something that you think of. I just feel like there's a comfortability there. You have Breece Hall. You have Fields running about. You got Braylon Allen, who we were talking about yesterday with JD that I kind of forgot about. Like, it's pretty good. So, I mean, you could really, like, pound the run, but then make smarter passes, get Wilson deep. I think it could kind of work, or like work in a sense that looks way better than anything we've seen recently in terms of the Jets always struggling to score even, 20 points a game.
Yeah. No, I think it's pretty interesting that, like, I mean, not for nothing. I mean, the Steelers were a lot of like people's like underdog Super Bowl dark horse team. Both their quarterbacks get split up and go to New York. Kind of a little ironic here. But, but I do think at the end of the day, I mean, both these teams have improved the QB position, so which is great for some New York football because, I mean, we know how sad last year was for football in New York. So
yeah. The other big signing yesterday, or I think it actually might have broke this morning. I don't know. It was either late last night or this morning, but I guess it was Tuesday. But Stephon Diggs, 3 years, $69 million, including $26 million guaranteed to New England. Suffered that ACL in Week 8 last year with Houston. Up to that point, Diggs was 7th in the NFL in catches, 2nd on the Texans in receiving yards. And Stroud had a passer rating of 104, completed 73% of his passes when targeting Diggs. I don't know. I mean, I just think it's just one of those things. I guess, they were trying to go for Godwin in free agency. Maybe you squeeze 1 year out of him, but I just feel like it's been evident before the ACL injury that Diggs is a player in decline. So I just don't know if you're going to get the value of the salary you're giving him.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. I mean, he is obviously, I guess, getting older now, right? 31, yeah. So, which is tough. And I don't know, but I don't know. I think if he stays healthy, he's going to be a huge asset. I mean, his injury to the Texans last year was pretty gut wrenching.
Yeah,
I mean, they fell pretty like significantly after his injury. Offensively, struggled to move the ball. Stroud did struggle because of that too. And obviously, we know the other injuries that occurred. Was Tank Dell, right? Was
Tank Dell. Was that in the playoffs?
No,
that was right before the playoffs.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know, dude. I would think that if he was healthy the whole year, he'd be one of the top, target in the league. So, I mean, does the Patriots have, the rest of the team to put together to get the ball to him? I mean, I don't really know, but I still think he's going to be a great asset to them.
What do you think, Zach?
I think it's a good pickup. I don't know about the money though. That's the thing is like, if they paid him significantly less, I'd be like, oh yeah, like why not? But like you said, I think like, he's entering his 30s now, coming off an ACL. It's kind of like up in the air as to how he's going to do. I think him and Drake May will definitely have a good connection. Like they have their guy in Drake May, definitely no doubt. But I don't know. I think it's kind of you're taking a risk, especially for the amount that you're paying him for sure. So
yeah, I mean the only good thing is you look at the money. I mean 3 years, 69, that averages at $23 million a season, 26 guaranteed. So you're really just guaranteeing, the 1 year pretty much. I mean, $3 million obviously is just, pennies. So that's the one thing. And you look at the rest of the receiving core, Matt Collins, Kendrick Bourne, Cashon Bout, and DeMario Douglas. So they just didn't have anything. There weren't any other options. I'm sure they'll try to draft somebody. So I guess they're just working with what they had. And they're just hoping that, he helps, Drake May take the next step. So, there were those two, NFL notes. And then on the college basketball side of things, we've already seen some coaching movement. We talked about, I think it was yesterday, about, Sean Miller going to Texas. But Richard Pitino, son of Rick, joining him in the Big East and actually is taking over for Sean Miller at Xavier. He got to the round of 32 with New Mexico this year. This is going to be, I think, his fourth coaching stop, if I'm not mistaken, because he was Florida Atlantic, then Minnesota, then New Mexico, and now in Xavier. But But I mean, I think it's a great move for him. I mean, taking advantage of a good season. And they were talking about this on the Fan this morning. Non-Power 5. I mean, you're just getting killed by the NIL. So any chance you have an opportunity to get, and I guess technically Big East, I don't know if it's really considered Power 5, but it kind of, for basketball, I know it's not in football, but it is a really solid conference, and it's a big upgrade, coming from, where he is with New Mexico. So I think it's a great move for him. I don't know what you thought about that.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, anytime you can go coach in the Big East, I mean, you got to take that offer. But yeah, I was impressed with what he did with New Mexico. Kind of sucks that they got booted so early, but yeah, I think it's a good pickup for sure.
Richard, Tony?
I mean, yeah, I guess good for him. I mean, I guess he's got the legacy, and sure, dude.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's kind of like, and you probably don't remember this, but I know Zach would. But for college football, like with the Bowden Bowl, now it'll be like the Pitino matchup or whatever. Because trying to think father son, I don't remember any scenario with that with college basketball. Do you?
No, I think you would remember it too.
Yeah,
because they're so big on coaches.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
I don't.
I mean, it's cool, I guess.
I don't know. I feel like, and for Xavier though, in all seriousness, Sean Miller leaves. I mean, I think it's a good hire to replace him.
Yeah, I guess so.
But and it's interesting. They've been talking about this, and you wonder if you're going to see this more. I forgot. It might even be St. Francis, PA, or some school I heard is like switching to Division III. There's 8, because of the NIL, the money that's required to compete, that these like smaller Division I schools are going to drop out of Division I because everybody leaves and stuff. I mean, that really might be a problem.
Yeah,
it's a huge problem. Dude. Are you kidding me?
Even a school like that could happen to Sacred Heart.
Yeah, true.
And I don't think there's any way to stop it really, right? Because I mean, it's like these players, they have success at a mid-major, and then they can make money at a Power 5. I mean, aren't they just going to take it every time? I mean, what's the incentive?
There is no to stay. None.
Yeah.
I mean, all the incentives would be to leave.
Do you think that's going to ruin college basketball, or just make it just very top heavy and no more Cinderellas?
I think that's what they want. Like, honestly, like they'll always pitch March Madness as like the underdog mentality. But I think what they want, and I think across the board in college sports, you see it with football as well. They want these big schools to just get better, and they just want a dogfight at the top. And NIL is doing that because of the money that's being thrown around. So none of these kids are going to stay. They're all going to keep going where the money is. But yeah, that's definitely like the direction that it's going.
Yeah. So kind of interesting. And yeah, I think that was the only coaching move that I saw from yesterday. I know the Drake coach, McCollum went to Iowa to replace Fran McCaffrey. And yeah, I think that was pretty much it. But we did mention starting tomorrow, we are going to have the Children's Houston Open. And this is a tournament that's been around since 1946, played at the Memorial Park Municipal Golf Course, measuring a par 70, 7,432 yards. Prize fund of $9.5 million. And you look at, the recent history here. Steven Yeager won last year, 12 under. Was a packed leaderboard. You had 5 guys that were one shot back: Dietrich, Finau, Moore, Scheffler, and Toasty. And then no tournament in 23. 22, Tony Finau won at 16 under. So you think about, like Tony had mentioned this before the show, last 2 tournaments he's played there, runner-up and won. So obviously a strong history at the Houston Open. Jason Kokrak was 10 under in 21, 2 shots clear of Scotty and Kevin Tway. Carlos Ortiz won at 13 under in 2020, 2 shots clear of Johnson and Matsuyama. And then Lanto Griffin won in 2019, 14 under over Mark Hubbard. And so, we've seen the scoring here. It seems like it's settled between 10 and, if you even go back further in the history, it's up to 20. So, average, kind of low to mid teens in terms of scoring. And I think, weather plays a part in that as well. And I think too, for a non-signature event, pretty decent fields here.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, I mean, you look at the top here, starting with Scotty and Rory. They're obviously, 2 of the heavy favorites here. But they're the only two in the top 10. But then you got Wyndham Clark, Maverick McNeely, Sahith Thagala, Sanjay Im, Aaron Rai, Thomas Dietrich, JJ Spawn, Nick Taylor, Tony Finau, Jason Day, Harris English, Nick Dunlap, Max Greiserman, Davis Thompson, and last year's champ Steven Yeager. So I know you've been crunching the numbers over there, the trusty notepad, the personal bag. What do you think?
The personal bag here. I'm not seeing Justin Thomas on this slate, huh?
Yeah,
no JT.
No JT.
That's tough, dude.
Yeah, probably just needs to. But I bet he's gonna play Valero to prepare for the Masters.
Yeah. All right, dude. I mean, I guess honestly, we were talking about it. I mean, if I were to pick a winner, I guess I would go with Tony here. I mean, obviously, the past 2 years, or I guess technically 3 years, 2 tournaments here, doing very well. Right now, he's at plus 3,500 on the odds here. So I'm going to say, because he typically performs so well here at the municipal course, I say Tony Finau does take this dub here. And I feel like he's due for one. I can't even tell you the last time he honestly won a tournament, to be honest, dude. But I just feel like this year, this course specifically, he knows how to play it. I think we did look ahead at the weather, and it is going to be pretty clear, I believe.
I was trying to think
of that last week.
Yeah, these tournaments just blend together.
I know, dude.
I'll do a quick, check here.
But just to look at Tony's latest and greatest in terms of his results. This year he has 1 top 10 finish. That's at the Genesis Invitational, so somewhat recent. Tied for 36 at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Cut at the Players. What do you got? Rain.
So 90% rain tomorrow. Let's see. But it's one of those things you have to look at the. So it's literally at 11 to 12 a.m. So basically. 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. So not going to be a factor. And then Friday, 95%, again, overnight rain. But maybe, plays for a wet course.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, it says 60% rain, but again, just overnight. So basically, like you said, clear skies, basically 72, 73, 85, 86. So we'll heat up over the weekend. Maybe you get some, big drives and some longer carries.
Yeah. And I think, Tony Finau will be heating up, dude. I say, like I said, because of it, 2 of the last 3 years performing well here at the course. Give me him winning this one. I'll say around, I don't know, maybe 13 under will be his score to win this Houston Open here. And I guess for a sleeper, dude. I guess I'll take the. I guess give me Thomas Dietrich. He was a little bit of a sleeper. I picked a few times, and you know what, dude? Last year, I think he tied for second. I think right. We said or tied for fourth or something. He's up there.
I think it was second.
So yeah, tied for second. Yeah. So. Again, maybe another time for a course here that he's familiar with, and I'd say if he's going to win, he'll be winning around the 11 under spot.
There we go.
Bang.
So I know you're going to be tight about this one, and he did miss the cut here last year, so it's not a perfect history here. But he's actually played better than you would think this year. 2 top 10s. Also had a 13th at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. And then you also had 32nd at the Farmers, 40 at the Century, 50 at the Genesis. So basically has not missed a cut. And then last time we saw him at the Arnold Palmer, kind of interesting that he didn't play the Players. I don't know why. But I'm going to go with your buddy, the Aussie, Jason Day.
Oh, no, dude.
Who Tony thinks is not that good.
He's not.
But, I mean, listen, I think his career resume speaks for itself. I believe it was the 2016 PGA Championship. And he actually had a battle way back with vertigo. He's been able to, navigate through that. But I'm going to say Day will win this. Let's do it at 13 under. And I think 13 is a good number. 13-time PGA Tour winner, Tony. So I think you're a little underestimating the abilities of one Jason Day. So
okay, we'll see.
No, just curious, where did that come from? I mean, was there like a term or two you picked him, or you just remember like watching on PGA Tour Live and he's like 5 over in like the first round?
Yeah, a little bit of that. I mean, I remember when Rye was here too, he was hot on Jason Day. So I was like kind of like keeping an eye on him. And I mean, he was never really that great.
But is he not better than Max Homa?
No, he is, I think, better than Max Homa.
I mean, have you asked Riley about that recently?
Oh, my God. No, I haven't, dude.
Well, I'm going to comment about that.
You really should. He'll be on the show tomorrow,
Yeah,
dude.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I would ask him about that.
Yeah. Red Sox suck, and so is Max Homa.
So he's actually just ranked below your sleeper, Thomas Dietrich. Give me JJ Spawn. I feel like that. He finds himself in contention maybe more often than you would think.
Oh yeah.
So I'll say if he wins it, it'll be 15 under.
Okay.
And it does look like tomorrow coverage on ESPN Plus 8:15. And then you have Thursday at 4:00.
Lovely.
And I don't know why I said Thursday. Like, obviously that's tomorrow, but 4:00 on Golf Channel will start the regular coverage. Are you getting excited at all for the Masters, Zach?
Oh yeah, definitely. Always tune into the Masters. I have not been watching a lot of golf lately, but that's usually the time when I like to get back into it. So.
I mean, I don't know if you saw even just like the highlights of it, but Players was actually pretty good. The Monday finish with Rory.
It was great.
I'm blanking. Who was the playoff with there? It wasn't Spawn. No. Who was the
no, don't tell me. The caddy. It was like I don't want to say a no-name guy, but not a usual suspect.
I'm gonna look it up right now. You think you can get it without me telling you?
I don't know. I don't think so. Fuck. You have it in front of you?
I am gonna have it in front of me in 2 seconds.
I know that again. The caddy with the bender the whole week, dude.
Oh,
I know,
it's actually kind
dude.
of funny. I mean, do you want me to say it or not?
Why is it funny?
Well, I mean, I can't tell you because I'll kind of give it away.
No, yeah, just I'm not gonna get it.
It
dude.
was JJ Spawn.
Oh, it was JJ Spawn?
Yeah. So that makes sense why I was saying that. I don't know why just because there's been a couple tournaments since then. But yeah, that I honestly, right though. I mean, wasn't the Players a great tournament?
Yeah, it was sick, dude. I mean, it was a beautiful course. The weather was perfect, dude. It seemed, and obviously, like some great play.
Yeah, absolutely. So, good stuff around the corner. With the PGA Tour for sure. But let's go now to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Drop it. Yep. And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drill deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
We did have a bunch of comments, so I guess we could catch up on those. They kept doing the usual trash talk, no basis. Just needs to be humbled a little bit, but let's get to it.
All right, well, yeah, we'll get to it in a second here. Ernie, let's see. Oh, Derpy in here says, in honor of baseball tomorrow, top 5 baseball movies, which is probably not what you want to ask Brian.
I do like The Rookie. I'll give you that.
The Rookie is great.
Yeah.
Field of Dreams?
Field of Dreams. I don't think I actually watched it, to be honest.
Oh, okay, you should check it out.
Yep.
How about Moneyball?
Moneyball, I
great,
did
dude.
watch that. That's one that we'll allow.
Okay, good. I'm trying to think what else we can get in there for you. Probably Major League. You really don't appreciate
Major League a little much.
How about like any of the kids' Rookie of the Year when he pitches for the Cubs? The kids.
Okay, that one was a little spotty.
Okay, how about Little Big League?
Angels in the Outfield. When I saw it, was okay, but I couldn't get through it now.
No, yeah, I think that movie doesn't stand the test of time. Little Big League, I feel like you would enjoy.
I don't even know anything about that.
It's this kid grandfather owns the Twins, passes away, leaves takes over, and he's the manager, and it's actually pretty good, dude. Ken Griffey Jr.'s in it, dude. Ernie drops a few, says Bull Durham, which is, I guess, a good one.
I've heard of that one. I never saw it.
Robert Redford. It's all right. It's a kind of a sad story, to be honest, dude. Or is that The Natural? Yeah, maybe Bull Durham is with I think it's with Costner again, and then that doesn't really matter. Major League Rookie of the Year, Moneyball, Hardball. Hardball is a good one. Keanu Reeves, kind of sad though. Also,
I'm trying to think. I don't think I saw that one either. I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, he's like a gambling addict.
Okay.
Gets into trouble, has to like coach this little.
If only Jeremy Schaap had been able to.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, if only Schaap could talk to him, dude. And then this is interesting, dude. I mean, I guess top 5 seed flavors is like. I mean, for me, it's just regular like all the way. I don't know. Do you seeds? Do you do seeds? Sunflower seeds?
You know, I've always liked the barbecue sunflower seeds and regular ones, but you know what I used to do, which is just because like I'm not good at like the splitting the seeds out. I used to like eat the shell.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess some people do that, right? Or not really.
I've known a couple of people
okay,
who've done it.
But yeah, just thinking about it now. It's just like give me that's the thing. Give me them I don't know, how would you unshelled? I guess
unshelled,
or shelled,
yeah.
unshelled.
Yeah.
It's kind of like with pistachios. Like I get those sometimes. The sea salt and vinegar, very good, but no shell. It's just like why do I need to do that and get the stuff all stuck in my teeth?
You don't need that.
Just no reason.
No, yeah, and they do sell them sunflower seeds unshelled, dude. And actually, I went to a chocolatier once. Chocolate dip sunflower seeds.
Chocolatier.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like a guy who makes chocolate.
But it's like a chocolate shop? Or
yeah.
Okay,
exactly. So let's see what else we got. He also wants the top 5 flavors of gum, which I gotta say right now, Ernie comes in here and this is what he says: top 5: blue raspberry, sour apple. It is original, and then orange and cherry.
I mean, I don't think I guess I've had sour apple before, maybe a blue raspberry once, but I always just get regular mints.
Yeah, exactly. Just spearmint.
Yeah, just get a fresh taste.
Exactly,
that's all.
Dude. Although I do like the classic Big League Chew, like just bubble gum.
That was always too much for me.
Really?
Yeah. I just feel like I've always liked the mint flavor better.
I blew my first bubble with Big League Chew at first base. I was playing baseball, first base, blew a bubble. It freaked me out. And then my buck Stanton's still hurt. Yes, he is, dude. Kev Deuce says Barnes, your fantasy baseball team is trash. Let's go Mets, he says.
So yeah, quick pause there. Kev could relax. I mean, it's like let's let the season start first. You're saying my team's trash just because I have Yankees on it. Okay, so let's just take it easy, bud. I'd like an outside perspective here, so I'm just curious what and Tony actually, because I mean, listen, I have a few Yankees, but I don't think I have that many. So I'll just read off the lineup. I want grades here, honest grades. No one's tight. So Austin Wells, Vladdy, Jordan Westbrook, Jazz, Trey Turner, Kyle Tucker, O'Neal Cruz, Luis Robert, Christian Yelich, Jason Dominguez, Paul Goldschmidt, Nico Horner, Dylan Cease, Raciel Iglesias, Felix Bautista, Randy Walker, Roki Sasaki, Trevor McGill, Jeff Hoffman, Michael King, Jacob deGrom, and Carlos Rodon. A to F, Tony.
Wow, A to F. I think I would say like a B plus.
Which,
to be honest,
I mean, B plus is like let's get into the playoffs.
And I may be a little bit partial because Yelich was out with a back injury all last year my team.
Could have had a crazy year.
And really fucked me, to be honest, because he did start off with a great season.
Oh, so you're saying that's bringing me down a notch, having Yelich?
I'd be worried about injury.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just was curious.
Also, I would be worried about DeGrom injury as well, dude, because there's no way he's going to
you know what it was? I have all these teams, and this is an 8-team league. I'm sure I could pick up somebody. I just kind of wanted to go for it, like, just in case. Like, what if he is DeGrom of old?
That would be sick, dude. Yeah. But everything else, Sasaki is great, dude. Obviously, you said it last night too. Goldschmidt, late draft,
last round.
Pick, round. It was a pretty great pick right there. So yeah, I like it, dude. I like that. What do you, Zach? What do you think about that?
Yeah, what about you, Zach?
I'm in the same ballpark.
B plus.
Yeah. I also took Yelich, so I'm hoping he can get back.
And it wasn't early, like
same.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm sneaking ahead here, but Ernie, who only thinks his fantasy teams are top, is saying rough sledding. Like, let's take it.
Gives you a C.
But by the way, Yelich was taken 121st. So it's like if Yelich isn't any good, like there'll be someone on the waiver wire. So not really worried about that. And then what else? What else we got?
Yeah, I'm trying to. We gotta get through some of these here. Ernie. I don't know what AKA Bama over FSU is. That in regards to Patino? No.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe he could elaborate.
Michael Buck to High the Masters coming soon. Jim Nance, his buddy. Gary Cohen is funny, he says. All right, dude. And then let's jump ahead here.
Trying to move it along here.
Yeah, Donna Lee here, our newest YouTube member here.
Shout out Donna.
Says the Monty Stratton story and the Pride of the Yankees are her favorite baseball movies.
I haven't seen those. Have you?
No, I haven't. The Pride of the Yankees I've heard of.
I've heard of,
never,
too, but
never seen.
Never seen it.
And then you just say the Naturals with Redford, and then Bull Durham is with Kevin Costner. And then Michael Buckter's at Disneyland, and then Ernie caught up rough sledding. Which I mean, I think it's a tough grade, dude.
Yeah, the combo about the NCAA wanting bigger schools in the final. Okay. I guess I
there we go.
see what he's saying there.
Yeah.
But let's do the MLB, Tony, 2025 divisional previews. Let's start in the National League. And let's start. A place close to home for you, the NL East.
Wow,
and
dude.
We'll start with you. What do you got? 1 to 5.
All right, dude. So here we go. We're starting with 1. We want to do.
Yes.
All right. We'll start with number 1. Let's just hold your breath here, Brian. Okay. The New York Mets are winning the NL East. Let's fucking go, dude. And I'm going to say they're going to have 100 wins this year. All right. I really do believe that
100, you said
100 wins on the dot.
Do you know what the total is? I'm guessing I would imagine 92, 91 area. I can look it up.
Wait, like with
for the Mets, like Vegas.
Vegas. Oh, I don't know actually. I didn't check any like Vegas odds here. But I'm gonna say Mets 100 wins. I think
91 and a half. What do you know?
Wow,
didn't even look it up.
You, dude. Yeah, well, I don't know. Just like Michael Buck's not looking up the Mega Grid. Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
So give me the Mets 100 wins. Obviously, banking on Soto, banking on Lindor having a full great season. Alonso trying to prove himself. Vientos continuing to develop, prove himself. Hopefully, when Alvarez is back, he'll be obviously contributing as well. And I still think in his absence, I think Torrens will be able to hold his own there. And then I just have maybe some higher hopes for our pitching. I think hopefully having a full year of a healthy Kadai Senga, your ace, would be huge. Obviously, we're struggling with some injuries now, but like I've said, we've looked back on Minaya, we looked back on Quintana, even Severino, and to be kind of iffy. And I think if you look back on it now, you would say that they definitely lived up and exceed maybe some expectations. So give me the Mets here with 100 wins. Behind them, I do have the Phillies clocking at 99. Yes, I do believe that this is going to be another year where the NL East comes down to possibly the last weekend of the season, the last series possibly. But obviously Phillies, Nola, Wheeler, Harper, Turner, Alec Bohm. We know Kyle Schwarber, Castellanos as well. We know the firepower they have. But can they keep it together down the season? We'll see. But still, clocking at number 2 there. Number 3, obviously, will be the Braves at this point. We know with the, obviously they lost Fried, but they still have
Schwellenbach.
Schwellenbach, which is huge.
Schwellenbach underrated.
Schwellenbach, a lot of people have him as watch out, potential Cy Young. You never know. And obviously, if they're healthy, what they could do over the course of a season. I said they'll clock in at 94. Spencer Strider can kick some fucking rocks, dude, honestly. Stupid ass. But 94 wins, 3rd. Nats coming in 4th there with 72 wins. They do have some young prospects. Dylan Cruz, outfielder. We know Lane Thomas is probably going to have a solid year as well. And then don't you like their shortstop was someone you kept mentioning? CJ Abrams. Yes, dude. He has some good potential as well, but obviously 72 wins, 4th in the NL East. In Miami, I have them clocking in with 66 wins, last in the NL East here. They're just, not really a great team. So,
all right. So I am going to go Philadelphia first. I'm going to say 100 wins.
Okay, 100.
I think the offense and the pitching is great. Zach Wheeler leading the way on the mound. And then, like you said, the offense, with Turner. And I think Harper, too, has not had that, dynamite year in a while. And I kind of think he's due, to have a 35, 40 home run season, stay healthy the whole time.
Yeah.
I think he's coming into his own at first base. Trey Turner, after the slow start last year, really picked it up. And then Kyle Schwarber is a walking 40 home runs. Not to mention
strikeouts.
You have Stout. You have Bohm, those guys, might have bounce back years, and same thing with Castellanos. So a lot of firepower there. So I have them first with 100 wins. I'm going to go Atlanta in second with 95 wins. Their offense is unbelievable. I know Acuna, is going to miss the first month maybe.
Yeah.
But all the guys last year, other than Azuna, everybody had a down year. So I think they're all going to bounce back. The Austin Rileys, the Matt Olsons, the Ozzy Albies, I think they're going to have a great year offensively. And then, we just mentioned the pitching. Sale was unbelievable last year. I think Strider, even though Tony doesn't like him, will have a solid year on the mound as well. Ronaldo Lopez, a little underrated. I like Iglesias at closer. So really like this Braves team. We'll say second, 95 wins. The Mets, I'm going to say third at 85 wins, last wild card spot. I think the offense will be great, at least the top half of the offense. But I think the pitching is what's going to hold them back from winning the division. And then in fourth place, I'm actually going to go with Miami. I think, they still have a ways to go to be, a true contender. But, Alcantara back is huge, missing all of last year. And then, there's some high expectations for Xavier Edwards, the shortstop. They do have Jonah Bride and Otto Lopez, Matt Mervis. I mean, not your who's who, but guys who, may be able to produce. And then, eventually when they're healthy, Ryan Weathers, Edward Cabrera, Cal Control, and Max Meyer's an interesting guy, was a top prospect. He's only 26. So I think he's somebody, I think he came over in the Ozuna trade. So I think they'll have some growth, but I think they're going to win 74 games. And then in last, I think the Nationals dumpster fire. I think this is Dave Martinez's swan song here. I'm going to say they win 58 games, finishing last. And Cruz, Wood, Abrams, those are your cornerstones. But what else do you have? I don't think you really have much. No. And now we have the NL Central, Tony.
Yes, dude, you have the NL Central, and before Ernie is also talking some shit. Careful Barnes going to have Mets fans in their feelings saying 85 wins.
I put him in the playoffs. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's kind of tough, dude.
It's just the pitching. That's it. I said the offense is great. I know. Holmes is the opening day starter. I don't know. It's just kind of
he's going to be great.
No, but I think you know what it is? It's something that we've never seen before.
Yes, that is true, dude.
That's all it is for me.
No, yeah, I get it. We'll move on though from there. NL Central, dude. I do have clocking in a number 1 here. Give me the Brewers, 95 wins. Oh fuck, who's their manager's name? Matt. Something Irish. Pat Murphy. He was manager of the year last year. I think he honestly really helps out this team in terms of morale, energy, and stuff like that. I think he's a phenomenal manager. And obviously this team having Christian Yelich, hopefully healthy. I mean, last year they did win the NL Central, I believe. Yeah. And that was with most of the year not having Christian Yelich. Right. So they were able to rally around, him being injured a lot, to be honest. And I know I was bad-mouthing him before because he did kind of screw my fantasy team last year, but having him healthy, I mean, he's going to be batting around 300. He's probably going to be walking 30 home runs. He knows how to steal bags. He's a great defender. So I think, that in and of itself, not even with, pitching aside and stuff like that, I think they can get 95 wins pretty easily, especially in, the rest of the NL Central, which in my opinion, isn't really that great. I do have the Cubs coming in at 87. Obviously, their pitching is pretty solid. With Imanaga.
Yeah.
Shota Imanaga. I think he's someone who could be, probably in the Cy Young conversation for the NL, to be honest. I mean, especially as we're seeing more of these Japanese pitchers come over to the MLB, I feel like he's someone who really didn't miss a step like in his first year, dude. Like really didn't have much of an adjustment period, had solid numbers. He's gonna be a great guy in the rotation. Third, I'm gonna have St. Louis, I guess, with 83 wins here. I know St. Louis is kind of tough, dude. A lot of older stars there in terms of their pitching rotation. Arenado is a huge question mark. Talks about him being, kind of traded or moved or whatever, but he's got a big contract. Probably no one really even wants, dude. He's kind of declining. Yes, maybe he'll have some good numbers, but I'd say they're in third, 83 wins, and I'll put Cincinnati in fourth with also 83 wins. Obviously, they have some young talent and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I just don't think they have enough really to get past that threshold of like the mid 80s in terms of their wins. And that does put Pittsburgh in last of the NL Central. 79 wins. Again, obviously Paul Skeens is coming off his Rookie of the Year season.
Yes.
Obviously probably going to be in the Cy Young contention. Probably, I would imagine, is the favorite for Vegas to be Cy Young out of the NL. And yes, he'll probably be, getting wins for his team, but unfortunately he doesn't start every game. So right. Give me Pittsburgh 79, last place, NL Central.
Also, I was going to mention him when I talk about them, and I'll have them last too. But the Pirates, O'Neal Cruz,
yeah, your guy,
could have a huge year. Was coming back from injury last year. But I'm going to actually have the Cubs winning this division. I like their offseason. I mean, anytime you bring in a player like Kyle Tucker, That's huge. And specifically the offense. Matt Shaw, the top third base prospect, I think he's going to be big. Nico Horner, also one of the more underrated second basemen in the league. You still have Dansby Swanson, Ian Happ, and then Pete Crow Armstrong has some expectations. The former Met top prospect, only 23 years old. I think offensively, you're going to be pretty strong, and who knows, what Seiya Suzuki or Justin Turner can do at DH. And then you mentioned the pitching, Imanaga, like you said, dark horse for the Cy Young. And then you still have Justin Steele, who was pretty solid in like 24 starts, I think, last year. Jameson Taillon, disastrous first year with the Cubs, rebounded last year. I think, he can be pretty good. He's kind of an underrated starter. And then you also have Matt Boyd, the former Detroit Tiger. I think he's solid. So you mix that with Ryan Presley, the former Houston Astro closer. I think they're a solid group. And I think they win this division. I'm going to say 89 wins. And then I'm going to have the Brewers in second. I'm going to say 83 wins for the Brewers. You mentioned Yelich coming back is big. And then you also have Jackson Chourio after a slow start was really good last year. But other than that, I guess William Contreras is pretty good. But I don't love their offense. And then their pitching, I like Freddie Peralta, Nestor, we've dealt with the ups and downs with him, Aaron Savale, McGill is solid at closer. Obviously you traded away Devin Williams. So that's why I have them out of the playoffs. So only one team from the Central in. Cincinnati, I have them in third place. And obviously it's all about, Ellie De La Cruz, and Matt McClain, who former top prospect, missed all last year. I think he'll be good. So maybe some more offense this year. They did bring in Gavin Lux and Austin Hayes. But pitching may be a problem. Hunter Green finally had a good year last year. You don't know what you're going to get out of Lodolo, Nick Martinez, Brady Singer. Those guys could be good. And then the bullpen, I guess you're going to go with, Taylor Rogers, who you acquired from San Francisco's closer with the Alexis Diaz injury. And then you also have Jose Trevino. They just signed to a contract extension. But yeah, I think it's, you have your young guys, but you just need more there to compete. So I have them winning, I'm going to say 75 games. And then we'll go with the Cardinals in fourth. Not a lot to be excited about here. Like you mentioned, older roster. What's Arenado going to do? Will he bounce back? Wilson Contreras, they've had to move to first base with Ivan Herrera taking over at catcher, the 24-year-old. And then Jordan Walker's been a disappointment up to this point in his career. Will he finally, grow to that top prospect status that he's had? Pitching is kind of mediocre. Mikolos, Sonny Gray's good. I guess he's dealing with some type of injury. Eric Fetty. So I just, Matt's in the bullpen. Hesley's okay as closer, but I think 72 wins for the Cards. And then I think the Pirates, we mentioned it, Skeens and O'Neal Cruz. What else do you really have? I think they're a 60-win team. Mitch Keller also, has been pretty good in the past, and Brian Hayes has been disappointment. IKF starting at shortstop. McCutcheon, obviously, on the back nine or on number 18, whatever you want to say there. Brian Reynolds, good. So I think, maybe the offense will be okay, but besides Skeens and Keller, I don't know how the pitching will be. And I think the offense will just be mediocre. So with mediocre offense, okay pitching, that's why you're 60 wins. That's why you're last place.
Yeah, absolutely.
So NL West.
NL West.
The Dodgers. No, obviously, everybody's going to pick the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to go against them, to be honest, to win this division.
One quick question.
What do you got?
No way you could see, both them and San Diego winning 100 games. Maybe San Diego wins 101. They win 100.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, again, I was thinking about that today, because last year we had no teams with 100 wins, right?
Yes.
Which is pretty wild, because obviously Dodgers, you have winning the division, 102 wins. So we're going to have a second team already so far that has over 100 or at least 100 wins here. And honestly, I think if Sasaki is good and Glasnow can stay healthy, I think they're going to have one of the best rotations in baseball. Obviously, there's a little bit of a question mark in terms of, how Ohtani is going to look, but I think he's going to be fine, to be honest. Nothing.
I feel like they don't. Oh no, I was just gonna say I don't feel like they don't even like if he is fine. Yeah, but I think they don't even need him.
They
to
really
pitch.
don't to pitch. I mean, last year he didn't pitch, so it's like, what the hell, dude? And obviously, again, Yamamoto, another guy who is adapting quite well. To the style of the MLB and stuff like that. And obviously we know about the offensive prowess they can have. Freddie Freeman, my first baseman on a fantasy team, going to have a great year. I don't know if you saw it too. ESPN released an article saying don't draft Freddie Freeman. That whole don't draft these guys, whatever. And Chris Sale was one of them. Freddie Freeman was another one.
I could see Sale older, a lot of innings last year.
But Freeman, come on, he's an All-American. All right, give me a break, dude. They put Emmanuel Clase in that class as well.
I mean, the Yankees did kind of beat him up in the playoffs.
True. In any case, dude, Mookie Betts, moving to the infield.
Hopefully he's okay
with the illness.
He's shortstop, but
I think he'll be fine playing
very
short.
Odd thing though with the weight loss.
Yeah, no, it is a little concerning too, but I'm sure he'll get over it. And of course, we talk about the tertiary characters they have, the Tommy Edmonds
tertiary.
That's right, dude.
I know. I'm saying in all seriousness, I haven't heard that one.
It's like third, in the pecking order.
Supporting cast.
Exactly.
Yeah, there we go.
Dude. If you will. So those guys always due for some clutch hits, and watch out, Michael Conforto. You never know. I know it's probably not going to really happen, but still, maybe in the Dodgers' new life, you don't know. So they're first, 102 wins. And then I do have San Diego coming in here at 99 wins, dude. Just under 100. It's possible they get 100, but obviously, having a full year, hopefully, of a healthy Tatis Jr. would be huge for them. He's also on my fantasy team. And of course, their rotation obviously is going to be great. So it's going to be another year where we have those two teams atop of the NL West. Below them, I'm going to give Arizona the nod at third here, 90 wins. I guess kind of maybe a little bit of a down year last year. But still, I mean, they have some solid pitchers. Brendan Pfaadt, right, is in the rotation. Corbin Burns. That's
Gallen.
Right, dude. Almost forgot Corbin Burns. Zach Gallen on my fantasy team last year. He was great. I would imagine he will have another similar year as well. So, I mean, the pitching rotation in the NL West is super impressive. The Giants, though, I think probably have I wouldn't say the worst, obviously not, because I have them at fourth here. But they'd be sitting here at 80 wins. Again, another team that's just going to be at least a California team on the outside looking in a little bit. No playoffs for them. No, nothing crazy. 80 wins for them. They have, I think, a little bit to improve in their roster. And then, of course, last place, Colorado, 58 wins. I mean, if that, I mean, there's not much more to say there, dude.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of alluded to this. I'm going to go the curveball with San Diego.
Wow.
I think they have one of the best rosters in the whole league. You look at it, top to bottom, the offense, I mean, Luis Arraez, Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Jackson Merrill, Fernando Tatis, that's a lot of offensive firepower. And then, you mentioned the rotation, Dylan Cease, Michael King, Nick Pivetta, Randy Vasquez. So obviously those first three, those are horses for sure. And then not to mention, I feel like a pretty good bullpen with Jason Adam, Wandy Peralta, Robert Suarez. And I think the key for this team, I think we can count on the pitching, but just if, Arraez and Machado, Bogaerts, and Tatis, and Merrill obviously have the years that they've had in recent years. I mean, this is going to be one of the best offenses in the league. I mean, such a tough lineup to navigate. And I think they did a really good job in keeping Arraez. I know there was some talks about trading him, but just that he could set the table for all those guys with the power, the speed in the lineup. I think it's tremendous. So I'll have them winning 102 games. Wow. And then I'll have the Dodgers winning 100 games. And obviously, you spoke, we know all the horses on the Dodgers, the Betts, the Ohtani, the Freeman. They did bring in Michael Conforto. Of course, we know about Shohei Ohtani and the pitching rotation, even the bullpen. I mean, it's just stacked top to bottom. We'll see how injuries, play themselves out. But really actually might have one of the best bullpens in the league as well with Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, Blake Trine, and Michael Kopech. That's pretty strong as well. And then the fact that Roki Sasaki is your 5 starter.
Crazy.
It's pretty ridiculous. And then, Clayton Kershaw, I guess, is your 6 whenever he comes back. So the depth is there. It'll be interesting to see if the guys, who were catalysts on that run last year, if they kind of have injury problems, fatigue, played a lot of extra games, last year. So we'll see how that all sorts itself out. But obviously going to be a great team. I mean, we all know that. And then third place, I will go with Arizona. I think they're slightly ahead of San Francisco. And I think obviously, bringing in Corbin is huge. You pair him with Zach Gallen. Merrill Kelly, I think, is a solid third starter. Eduardo Rodriguez and five. I mean, that's a pretty good rotation.
Great.
I think it's just going to come down to offensively. I mean, you did bring in Josh Naylor. But then other than that, I mean, you have, Corbin Carroll, very slow start last year, kind of, picked up as the year went on. Ketel Marte is pretty good. Suarez homers, but he has a lot of strikeouts. So I just think, runs. Can they score enough runs? Also, I think the bullpen may be a little questionable. I mean, Justin Martinez, AJ Puck, Kevin Ginkel, Ryan Thompson, Joe Manaplay. Like we like to say, not the who's who.
Yeah.
And then the San Francisco Giants, I think solid pitching rotation. Oh, by the way, Arizona, I'm going to say 82 and 80.
Okay.
And then San Francisco, solid pitching rotation. Webb, Verlander, Ray, Hicks, and then they have Landon Raup as the fifth starter. But like we always talk about them, I mean, where's the offense going to come from? Matt Chapman, hit 27 home runs last year, low batting average. He's kind of like their best offensive player. I mean, they did sign Adames, but I don't know if I agreed with that. It was a big contract, $180 million. And then other than that, I mean, who's really going to hit for them?
Flores?
Come on. Yeah, come on. So I don't even actually see him. Oh, no, he's on the roster. But yeah, I just don't think they're going to score enough runs. So I think that equates to 74 wins. And then, like you alluded to, I mean, Colorado is in a world of trouble. There's just not much to point to. I can't believe Kyle Freeland is still on the team.
Ridiculous.
As well as Herman Marquez. Seems like they've been their starters for 10 years.
Literally.
Chris Bryant, I thought was going to hit 50 home runs as a Rocky. He's been absolutely horrendous.
On the hashish.
So really offensively, Tavar, McMahon, and Taglia are solid. And I guess Brendan Doyle, but you're not going to be able to get any outs. And still offensively is going to be a problem. So that's why you're winning, I think, 55 games.
Yeah.
So, that's your National League. And then on to the American League. The American League East.
You want to do the
Tony.
East first? All right, dude. So here we go, dude. I do have the Yankees atop the AL East. It's going to be a very interesting division in baseball, I think, because there's just a lot of question marks when it comes to every single team. Obviously, starting off with the Yankees, dealing with some injuries now, the rotation. I mean, it's still pretty solid here. I mean, obviously, Max Fried, huge pickup in my opinion. I know people had some mixed feelings about it, but I mean, again, I think that guy could be in the Cy Young conversation at 31. Obviously, I've seen him play a lot as a Mets fan, watching the Braves, Mets games. I mean, he's always good, dude. But you do have some holes. I mean, I feel like Rodon could be kind of up and down. You're not really sure. Obviously, there's no doubt about him bringing the energy, the tenacity, and stuff like that. But sometimes he doesn't have the control. Marcus Stroman, I mean, listen, he's just not going to be great. I mean, we've seen him in spring training. I've seen him on the Mets. We've seen him with the Cubs. Yes, Gold Glove, can make some good plays, inducing the infield ground outs and whatnot. But sometimes that shit just does not play. Obviously, you're probably going to be banking on Will Warren to have a great year. Wish I could see that as well. So, and again, like if Cole does come back, whatever, when he does, obviously he's going to be good. So, I mean, I still think, and I guess Yarbrough is going to be okay. Devin Williams, the addition, of course.
Luke Weaver.
Yeah, Luke Weaver, I mean, undoubtedly going to be great out of the pen here. He's a tremendous story, but, of course, I mean, Devin Williams, I think, obviously he's a Met fan. My most recent memory is the Alonso home run off of him. So it's like, sort of deal. But still, I mean, the rotation will be pretty solid. And I mean, the offense, obviously, there's no doubt there. I mean, Aaron Judge is your walking MVP right now. You do have Wells, who's going to be leading off, right?
Yes, first time ever,
franchise history. The Yankees catcher leads off, which is very impressive. I think a lot of people love that, and there's a reason for it. I think he's going to get a lot. You're going to get a lot out of him. Obviously, you're looking to players like Cody Bellinger to maybe reignite their career. Paul Goldschmidt to go back to a few years ago's MVP season. But again, injuries. I mean, Stanton is going to be tough starting the year off. I think they could kind of get off maybe a little bit slow because of that. And again, like Goldschmidt, Bellinger, those guys could get off to a slow start. But I think down the stretch, they do get the 91 wins. They do win the AL East. And then second place here, which I think is good for baseball, good for the division, it's going to be the Boston Red Sox. I think they're going to be competitive this year. Again, you talk about auditions, excuse me. I mean, Bregman, I think, will be a solid player here. I don't really know if it's going to cause like any issues, like in terms of like with Devers and like the vibe and stuff. Because of course, Devers already, I'm not moving. Don't tell me. Don't ask me. Don't even look at me, Bregman, sort of deal, which is kind of a weird mentality. But in any case, I think these guys will be individually certainly adding a lot in terms of the offensive prowess there. I mean, Devers is still a great player. Obviously, Bregman, like I said, too, and the addition of Walker Buehler, I think, is absolutely huge for the rotation there. If he's healthy, he could be in the Cy Young contention. You know, I mean, there's no doubt about that. I think a couple of years ago, where he did have a full, 32 starts, I think he was top 5 in the Cy Young voting. I'm pretty sure he's never won.
No.
So again, if he stays healthy, I mean, going to be absolutely really dangerous. Obviously, they're banking on like Brian Bayo to have a good year. I don't know about that. But you do have Cutter Crawford, who I do appreciate. Garrett Crochet, who could have
Crochet is an immense amount of talent.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Again, he stays healthy. You do have Lucas Giolito in there, who could, I guess, maybe bounce back, but I don't know. And then your closer is going to be Chapman, which is pretty interesting, right? They're going to go with Chapman for their closer.
Yeah, because
probably.
Hendricks got tattooed in the spring training, but which doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter though.
But then I'm sure Chapman will end up getting tattooed once the regular season starts.
I'm sure. But again, I just think that I think the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry will be an all-time high this year because of the ways the division plays out, because you have Chapman and Bregman on this team. You know, these are familiar faces for Yankee fans. So I think it's going to create, and Walker Buehler too. I mean, you just saw him in the World Series.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it's going to create like a great level of competition for the AL East. So they're second, 89 wins. I do have Toronto with 85 wins. They're kind of an interesting team. I mean, you look at their pitching rotation, and they're actually pretty old. They pick up Max Scherzer here in the offseason. Speaking of old, exactly, which is pretty interesting. You know, they're going to be relying on Chris Bassett for another year, who's in his 36th year season here. Of course, Kevin Gausman as well, who's 34 years old. Chad Green is in there out of the pen. So it's pretty interesting to see what maybe they can squeeze out of some of these guys. And of course, you have Jose Barrios as well, who's at 30 years old. So not a lot of youth around those pitchers, but that's fine, dude. Obviously, you're banking on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to have a stellar year like he did last year, which I would anticipate. Anthony Santander, great addition there. I mean, he can hit 40 home runs, easy money there. Dalton Varsho, I think, who was starting the year on the IR.
Injury list. I think it's short term.
Short term, yeah. So, I mean, he still had a great year last year. I'd imagine he does too. And you never know what George Springer could bring you. So, I think they're going to be knotted in here at third with 85 wins. And then we're going to have Baltimore there at fourth with 84 wins.
Baltimore's fourth, interesting.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's just how I kind of see it playing out. Again, I mean, I feel like Toronto can squeeze out Scherzer. I think Bass will have a solid year, but they're going to rely a lot on their offense. I think they have to get that third spot. And Baltimore, a team who, obviously, you think of their pitching. I mean, Dean Creamer. I don't know, dude. Zach Eflin.
Uncle Charlie, dude. I mean, obviously, you know about Felix Bautista out of the pen there for coming back from Tommy
John. I'm sure he'll be fine though. And then I mean, like Charlie Morton.
Uncle Chuck,
Uncle Chuck, dude, for Connecticut's very own dude.
New Britain, hard hitting
New Britain. Grayson Rodriguez, I guess, is going to be
injured
solid.
Though to start.
Injured to start though. So I mean, right now their pitching does not look great. I mean, their offense leads things to be desired. We know about Jackson Holiday and the lack of the year he has. I can see him maybe having somewhat of a breakout year, but Adley Rutschman, I think, could be kind of quiet. Ryan Mountcastle will be solid. You also have O'Hearn there. Jordan Westberg at third base. He'll be okay, but I don't know, man. I think this team, Tyler O'Neill over there as a left fielder. I mean, I don't know. I think they just have a lot left to be desired. A lot of moves. Maybe they make some moves at the deadline to bolster their roster, but they were staying a little too quiet for me in the offseason. And of course, that brings Tampa Bay Rays last place, AL East, 74 wins. Yes, they're a team that's limped in to postseason and wild card spots before, but not this year. They're last.
Wow. All right. So as you can imagine, I do agree with you on the Yankees winning the AL East. I'm going to give them a couple more wins at 95. Like you mentioned, of course, the injuries to the starting rotation, with 3/5 of it on the injured list wasn't what you were hoping for. But the good part is Clark Schmidt will be back soon. He's only going to miss a couple starts. He had a 2.85 ERA last year. So you couple that with Fried, with Rodon. Heel will be back sometime in June, July. Obviously AL Rookie of the Year. So you're just going to have to work with Stroman, Carrasco, and Warren getting starts. And I think, Matt Blake will get the best out of him. And I think the important thing, I think you'll have some good and bad with those three. And then I think the offense is going to be a lot better, than people are imagining. Of course, we all know about Judge. And Tony alluded to, Wells getting the leadoff spot. I mean, I just think he looks like a different player this year. And I think he's going to thrive hitting in front of Aaron Judge. The fact that he's going to get good pitches to hit, because I think that's been his bugaboo at times, chasing out of the zone. And that's why he went to an elongated slump last year. So I think he's going to be really good. I have him hitting, up to 30 home runs this year out of the leadoff spot. And then, love the fit of Bellinger. I think he'll have, one of his better years. I think he can hit 30 to 35 home runs. And Jazz Chisholm, I think he's going to hit 25 to 30 home runs, steal a bunch of bases, love his speed element, the fact that he's going to be settled in at second base. And then, Paul Goldschmidt, I think, he's looked great this spring. Obviously, he's a little older. You got to be careful, but I think Yankee Stadium will fare well for him. I think he's going to hit upwards to 30 home runs as well. So you think about all those guys, plus the fact that, Jason Dominguez is a Rookie of the Year candidate. He could hit 20 to 25 home runs, steal some bases. Obviously, everybody is concerned about the defense, but I think there's no question on offense. And a big swing guy here, I think, is Anthony Volpe, because I think we all expected a little more offensively out of him the last 2 years. Him taking the next step would be tremendous. We know what he can do on defense. We know he's a great base runner, great base stealer. But him hitting 270 even, I think, would be tremendous. We don't even need him to hit one home run. Obviously, he's going to, at the minimum, going to hit 10 to 15, could hit 20 like he did his rookie year. I think the key for him is just getting on base, making solid contact, and using his speed, and I think that's what he's going to do. And then, obviously, to start the year, the two question marks in the lineup are, Oswaldo Cabrera and Ben Rice, both who had decent springs. We saw Rice struggle and get demoted last year after his 3 home run game. But I like the fact that those guys are getting opportunities. It seems like Stanton will be back at some point, but obviously we're going to have to wait a couple months. I think, they've thrown out Memorial Day as a best case scenario. And then I think the bullpen's great. I think Williams will let the Alonso home run go. He's got the air bender. I think he'll be fine. Love the fact that Luke Weaver's the setup guy now. Fernando Cruz, a little bit of a bumpy spring, kind of came on late. But I think he's going to be great out of the bullpen. The fact that you're going to get Cousins and Loaiza in there, bringing back Tim Hill, this is going to be one of the best bullpens in the league. So feel great. Just given everything, obviously there's some injuries to navigate, but I think offense, bullpen will be the catalyst early, as well as the pitching. The top 2 guys, Fried and Rodon, I think they're going to carry the load to start the season. And then in second place, I am going to go with the Baltimore Orioles. And I know, obviously, some concern about the pitching, but I think offensively, they can have a really good year, especially if Gunnar Henderson's not going to miss a lot of time. I know I had talked to Josh about this, and he was saying, it's projected to be a short-term injury there. But I think Jackson Holliday, we forget he's only 21 years old. I know he hit under 200 last year, but I think he's going to be really good. Jordan Westbrook had a great year last year. And then I think Rutschman is one of the better catchers in the leagues. And I think Tyler O'Neill is actually an underrated addition. I know he strikes out a lot, but he hit 31 home runs in only 111 games or 113
Impressive.
games last year with the Boston Red Sox. So I think he'll pay dividends. Colton Cowser, Heston Kjerstad, those are guys, that can contribute. And then, the bullpen I think will be good with Batista, with Dominguez, with Soto, with Cano. It's just going to be, what you get out of the pitching. And, I think they're a team that's going to add some pitching. So I think they finish second. I think they win, I'm going to say 88 games. And then coming in third, I think will be the Boston Red Sox. I know last time I talked to Riley about this, I had said 75 wins. Just kind of thinking about it, trying to be more accurate here. I'll give them 82 wins, but it's still going to be out of the playoffs. I think the offense will be good. I know they're excited about the top prospect, Christian Campbell, getting the start. I'm sure we'll see Roman Anthony at some point. You mentioned the addition of Bregman. Duran is one of the best outfielders in the league. We know about Devers. Can Trevor Story bounce back? That's a big question. And then Connor Wong was up and down with the bat last year. But the pitching, I think Crochet will be good as long as he doesn't have any injury problems. I like Houck. But then after that, with Giolito and Bayo injured, Walker Buehler, it's been a while since he's pitched a lot of innings. And I think, the bullpen, I think is a question mark. I mean, we know about Chapman, and even Liam Hendricks before he had Tommy John, was struggling. So I don't know how good the bullpen will be. I've always liked Garrett Whitlock, but I just think I look at that and I just don't see the hype that everybody's talking about. I look at this roster and the guys that are, I think, stars are Garrett Crochet, and Jarren Duran and Rafael Devers. Other than that, I think, there's a lot of question marks. So that's why I just struggle with like Jeff Passan, for instance, saying that the Red Sox are better than the Yankees. I just don't see it. And then you're going to have Chapman in the ninth inning. I don't know. I don't know how that team can win the division. So I have them out of the playoffs in third. And then I have Toronto in fourth. I think the offense will be solid. I mean, we know about Vladdy. Santander is going to hit a bunch of home runs. Bo Bichette had a terrible year last year. Maybe with incoming free agency, he'll bounce back. But yeah, I just don't know. Offensively, I think they're going to be average. And then I think the bullpen will be okay. Jeff Hoffman was solid in Philadelphia last year. You mentioned the old rotation. You would think injuries are upon them. I like Bowden Francis, who almost had that no-hitter against the Mets last year. But, Gausman and Barrios, I think, will be solid. But Scherzer and Bassett, I wouldn't be surprised if there's injuries there. So I think this is a 75-win team. And then I have Tampa Bay bringing up the rear. They've just lost a lot of talent, and Wander Franco's situation obviously killed him. McClanahan starting the year injured. I just don't know if there's enough of offense and pitching. The days of the opener, I just think aren't happening. So I think it's a 70 and 92 team here for Tampa Bay, bringing up the rear, Tony.
You like that phrase?
I do.
You said it twice in the past 60 seconds.
I mean, that's what people say, though. I don't know. You've heard sports commentators giving their analysis, Tony. That's what they say. Anyway, that was so funny. But the AL Central.
Yes, we're going to do AL Central here. I mean, honestly, this is a little bit tough. Kind of a toss-up, honestly, I think, between 1 and 2 here. But I think Kansas City gets it done at 1. Then they're top of the Central here. They're going to have 90 wins. Look at their rotation. Obviously, Seth Lugo looking to continue his stellar career now as a starting pitcher. Killed it last season. Ever since he left the Mets, even with the Padres a little bit, getting those starting roles, he was kind of developing himself as a starter, and I still think he's going to be consistently good all year long, which is pretty crazy because he is 35 years old. Nonetheless, dude, again, the rotation, Cole Reagans, 27-year-old, obviously killed it last year, going to be probably in the Cy Young competition over here for the AL. And rounding out, you have Chris Bubic, who's, I guess, a relief pitcher, but also in terms of their start, I guess, Lorenzen, Michael Wacha, that's the other guy I was thinking of. Michael Wacha, I'm sure, will have a solid year. So, their top 3 pitchers are pretty solid, are very good. And I think that that's going to be really the key to their success because, I mean, again, which is why they're more of a toss-up maybe, could be Cleveland. I'm picking Kansas City here, though, because obviously I think Bobby Witt's going to kill it. I do like the addition of Jonathan India on second base. Mm-hmm. Great middle infielder.
I think former Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. And, honestly, guy could hit 20 home runs. Like, he could. So I love that. And I would think with a team like Kansas City who will be winning games, maybe he'll rise up to that occasion. Hunter Renfroe is someone who's been solid as well for their lineup. So I could see them getting their 90 wins here. I think they had 88 last season, coming in second behind the team I have in second this year. With, ironically enough, 88 wins. I do have the Cleveland Guardians getting the second spot here in the AL Central. And I mean, I don't know. I know, obviously, you think of their rotation, which is pretty solid. They have Bieber, Logan Allen, who could be good, Tanner Bibby, who was, I guess, maybe a little bit up and down last year. And, of course, Emmanuel Clase as their closer, who I still think will have a great season for them. as he typically will. And then in terms of the offense, I don't know. I still think like a little bit almost like Kansas City. That's where they're lacking a little bit. I mean, Bo Naylor, I don't know, man. Jose Ramirez could be good. Carlos Santana, but he's 38 years old. I guess he can, show off some power. They have Lane Thomas now in their outfield, which is great. So I mean, he's going to have like a stellar year for sure for the 29-year-old. But again, I still think that their weak point is going to be their lineup, but they're in second, 88 wins. And that leaves us with Detroit here in third, which is like, oh man, wow, really Detroit? I'm like, yes, dude. I do think that their rotation is be pretty solid. They get Jack Flaherty right back, yeah, which is great. You have to trade him away. So I think that he's gonna have maybe a great year here. Casey Mize, we've seen him have solid numbers. Reese Olson as well, and they do have Tommy Canley coming out of the bullpen, I believe, right?
Yeah, former Yankee legend.
Former Yankee legend, dude. But again, I mean, obviously offense, this is a team who had a tremendous second half of the year, went on that crazy tear to win games, to make themselves competitive. And I mean, not for nothing, Javi Baez is someone who, could be good for you, but they have Trey Sweeney, Spencer Torkelson, who knows what Gleyber Torres can put out there. But Kerry Carpenter, the right fielder, was big in that big push that second half of the year. Manuel Margot, Riley Green. These are guys that could have Matt Verling as well. Solid offensive year. So I have them in at third with 83 wins. And then I have Minnesota here, in fourth with 77 wins. I don't know, man. I mean, I look at their roster. Pablo Lopez for me is kind of a toss-up. Michael Tonkin, the rotation, Smith, Simeon Woods, Richardson. I mean, I don't know. I just don't really see it happening. And then, I mean, not for nothing, their lineup too. I mean, Ty France, I don't know. I feel like he didn't have like a stellar year last year, right? With Seattle?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he was in Seattle.
I'm pretty sure, dude. Willie Castro, I mean, give me a break, dude. Carlos Correa, I mean, leaves things to be left desired. Byron Buxton is a walking injury. They would have Harrison Bader in center field, like having balls go over his head. So I don't know. They're in fourth place there, 77 wins, and of course that leaves the White Sox, Brian, in last place in the AL Central, 50 wins.
What a surprise!
Again, I mean, just like Colorado. Not really much to talk about there. Bad team, bad organization. Sorry. Last place.
All right. I'm going to actually do a little curveball here. I'm going to go with Detroit winning the division. Love what they did second half. And you mentioned getting Flaherty back. So to have Skubal, Flaherty, Reese Olson, Casey Mize, the former first-round pick who struggled and now has really come on strong. I think the rotation is going to be strong. I like you said, bringing in Tommy Canley to the bullpen. They got some rated names there with Foley and Brisky and Vest and Tyler Holton. So they did a good job there. And I think offensively, listen, I know, like we like to say, it's not the who's who, but some of these guys are better than you think. Their catcher, Jake Rogers, Colt Keith at first. I think, non-base running and fielding, Gleyber Torres will provide some, spark to that offense. And then Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, I think are two underrated guys that, if you didn't look up their numbers, you wouldn't know that they had strong years last year. So you pick that. With the fact that I think Spencer Torkelson, who hit 31 home runs 2 years ago, struggled last year, former top pick, him bouncing back. And then Trey Sweeney, the former Yankee first-round pick, had a cup of coffee last year. But he's highly touted. So I think, their offense could be better than you think. So I think in a tough division, they win it with 88 wins. And then I'm going to say second will be the Kansas City Royals. Pitching, obviously the strength there. Reagans, Lugo, Waka, Lorenzen, and Bubic. That's pretty good. And I think their bullpen's pretty good. I like the addition of Carlos Estevez. So now you can have Ekrig setting him up. We know about Salvi Perez. At catcher, you mentioned them adding India, Bobby Witt, one of the best players in baseball. So I just think it's just going to be a matter of what the other guys do offensively. So I think the offense could potentially hold them back is why I have them in second. I'm going to say they win 85 games. And then I will go with the Guardians in third. Seems like they always piece it together, especially with the pitching. I mean, you look at the pitching, Tanner Bybee, I think was pretty solid last year. Gavin Williams is okay, but Ortiz, Lively, Allen. But you watch, they'll get the best out of those guys. They always seem to churn out starters, from their system, going all the way back to CC Sabathia, and then obviously Corey Kluber, and on and on there. And then the bullpen, I think, is one of the best, in the majors. Class A, rough postseason. But like you said, I expect him to bounce back, at least for the regular season. Cade Smith, one of the more underrated setup men in the league. He's unbelievable. Hunter Gaddis was great last year. Former Met great Paul Sewald as well, Tony. So
that's funny.
Stacked bullpen. But yeah, offense. I mean, what are you going to get there? I do like the addition of Nolan Jones. That was a late trade in spring training. And had a bad year last year after having a strong year the year before. So he's gonna have to be one of the catalysts with Jose Ramirez, former MVP. Obviously, we know what he brings. Santana, underrated signing, obviously older, solid with the glove, but probably is gonna give him 20 home runs. And then Stephen Kwan, I think took a step back with the batting average last year. Going from actually no, that wasn't last year. That was the year before. Never mind. But I thought, you know what it is? My fantasy league does the on base percentage. I was getting confused, but it was 268 to 298. But one of the better contact hitters in the league. Obviously, can steal a little bit. And then Jockenzie Noel had the big home run off of Luke Weaver last year in the the ALCS. So he's a younger player, so they'll have to see what he could do. So that being said, though, I think they're just out of the playoffs here at 82 wins. I think in fourth place we'll go with Minnesota. The Correa signing hasn't worked out the way that they had hoped. I think their pitching is okay. Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryland, Bailey O'Bear. And then Woods Richardson as your 5's not bad. We'll see what Paddock gives them. I like Duran at closer. But offensively, what are you going to get? You can count on Buxton missing a lot of games. Royce Lewis is always already injured. You mentioned France being up and down. Jeffers is okay. So I just don't think they're going to score enough runs. So that's why I have them at 78 wins in fourth. And then Chicago, I'm going to say 45 wins, honestly. I think it's just going to be a complete embarrassment. Maybe they bring back Gallo to be a pitcher. Who knows? But there's just not a lot to be excited about there other than Luis Robert, who you would imagine they would trade just to restock this farm system. So that's what I got in the AL Central. And then we are finally on our last division in Major League Baseball, the AL West, Tony.
The marathon, dude.
Yeah.
AL West, give me the Stros. First place, 89 wins. Again, obviously maybe not as many wins as you would like, but rotation is solid here. Spencer Arrighetti, we know about him. Blanco, Hunter Brown, I guess Luis Garcia. It's interesting to see what McCullers can do this year. Missed most of the entire year last season because of injury, but again, he's still a solid pitcher. Framber Valdez, we know how good he could be, which is fine. Obviously, you have JP France as well, dude, as a starting pitcher, which will be interesting to see, comes out of the pen sort of deal, but the rotation is pretty solid. Josh Hader, taking over the closing role there. He's going to have a good year. He's the closer for my team. Offense is pretty solid. You have Yadier Diaz, a catcher who underrated. Buster only has him as like a top 5 catcher actually in the MLB. Batted 299 last year, so a lot of high expectations for him. Of course, you have the rest of some usual suspects. You're an Alvarez, Jose Altuve, Chas McCormick. Yes, dude. How about Jeremy Pena, though? Is going to be having a great year for sure. Christian Walker, dude, also at first base. That's going to be great. I mean, who was their first baseman before him? Jose Abreu?
Jose Abreu had to release last year.
Had to be released last year. So obviously, much like another team in the AL, working leaps and bounds here at the first base position. So they're clocked in 89 wins, atop of your AL West. Coming in at second, I do have Seattle, who I guess you could argue maybe had a little bit of a disappointing season last year.
Out of the playoffs.
Castillo, Gilbert having, Gilbert probably posted some good numbers. Castillo probably not as good numbers as you would want last season, but I think they could be bounced back here. George Kirby could be. Bryce Miller was actually stellar last year.
Very good.
So he's probably going to continue that. So rotation is pretty solid. And I guess, Cal Rayleigh, I guess you're kind of expecting a lot out of him, out of the catching position, no doubt. But again, some offense has some left to be desired, I think, here. But you never know. I mean, Rowdy Tellez can go on a tear, the big boy at first base. They have Randy Arozarena, who I think was disappointing, coming on to Seattle last season. Mitch Garver, you never really get out of him. He's 34 years old, could bring his experience to the table, hit 20 home runs. Julio Rodriguez, obviously, is going to be great. Jorge Polanco. Dylan Moore is pretty solid as well. So it's really pretty interesting to see where they really end up. But I'm going to put them at second, 87 wins here, which would leave Texas taking the knot here at third. They're going to have 80 wins, I think, this season. I think, again, another team that is going to be struggling with some injuries. Listen, I've been a big fan of Nathan Eovaldi ever since he went to the Rangers because he's been solid for them. But he's 35 years old. It's another year. I don't know. I think there's a lot of question marks there. Of course, they have Kumar Rocker, and they also have Jack Leiter.
Yes.
Who they've been probably banking on having some good starts. But I think they will. I think those are two guys. Kumar Rocker has the talent. Obviously, someone who was drafted originally by the Mets, didn't sign, the elbow, uncertain. Kind of a stupid thing that the Mets did, but nonetheless, dude, I think it'll be pretty solid. Jacob deGrom, I think, is going to be a huge question mark. I think he's going to be injured. I think he's going to make, 5 starts, 7 starts, maybe.
Great for my fantasy team.
I'm sorry, but I mean, it's just.
No, would that really be a surprise?
It's not,
no,
dude. And then what does that leave Texas? Trying to fill in Patrick Corbin in the rotation? Oh, dude. I think that's going to be kind of tough. So, again, if there is some injuries there, I'm sure Dane Dunning will be pretty solid too, I guess. Cody Bradford, I guess, could be good. But still, I think they have some depth. David Robertson coming out of the pen would be kind of cool to see. But I just think they're going to have some injuries. Maybe Eovaldi even gets hurt too. I mentioned his age. So I guess we'll see what happens there. I think a lot of question marks in terms of their offense. We've seen Jonah Heim have some good tears last season. They also have Kyle Higashioka to fill in for him, I guess. But they're both probably be pretty up and down. The infield here, I guess, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien. Again, Semien also probably touching 35 soon, right? 34 years old. He's going to be another year older. And, I don't know. These are guys, Adolis Garcia being another one too, Jock Peterson, guys who had such down years last year. And yes, you could sit here and be like, maybe they'll be bounced back. But I don't know. I don't really think so. I think they'll be good enough to get the third place. Like I said, 80 wins, dude. And then I'll leave Oakland for me here with 72 wins. You look at the Athletics here. I guess maybe they're not going to be Oakland anymore. But anyway, you look at the Athletics here. And I don't know. Mason Miller obviously is going to be huge out of their pen. Starters will be,
Luis
Severino, yeah, being their star. JP Sears, also another familiar face. Jeffrey Springs, I guess, too, could be solid. Mitch Spence, I guess maybe underrated, could throw out some good numbers, but again, rotation would be solid. Ken Waldichuk has had some good stouts here, but that's why I have them really in fourth, 72 wins. The offense, I think there's a lot to be desired in terms of their offense. Are we going to see Gio Urshela just killing it? Maybe. And that will leave, unfortunately, for Mike Trout and the boys, it will leave the Angels in last place out of the AL West here with 65 wins. I just think that, again, rotation, Detmer's very up and down. We've seen him pitch a complete game, shutout, but then we've seen him get absolutely tattooed. Same thing. Kyle Hendricks. They're going to have Kenley Jansen, I guess, closing games for them, which I know you'll get his numbers is solid. But Jansen, who's 37 years old, another year, I don't know, probably may start getting more popped. Yusei Kikuchi, I think, could maybe surprise some people. But again, consistently all year long, no thank you. They do have Jose Soriano, which I guess will be okay. Young buck, 26 years old. They're banking on him. The offense, they had Travis d'Arnaud catching, Logan O'Hoppe as well. But give me a break, dude. We have Tim Anderson. So he'll be getting some looks at short. Johan Moncada, Nicky Lopez, dude. I don't know. Jorge Soler, Mike Trout, Taylor Ward in the outfield. I just don't think they're going to have much offense. And, again, Trout has struggled with injuries, too, in the past. We've seen he's probably going to miss some games this year. Maybe he'll have a great year, but it's not going to be a lot. It's 65 wins. It's last place. AL West here. Book it.
All right. So For the AL West, I'm actually going to go with the Rangers winning that division.
That's wild.
Obviously, you got some starting pitching injuries, but Eovaldi has been durable the last couple of years. So you pair him with Jacob deGrom, Kumar Rocker, and Jack Leiter, guys who haven't proven it yet at the major league level, but so highly touted. So there's a chance for a breakout there. And then you got Tyler Mahle. Bullpen, they might need some reinforcements there. Luke Jackson scheduled to be the closer. You got Chris Martin, the longtime relief pitcher in the pen. So not much to speak of in the pen. But offensively, I think, they are going to, bounce back. They almost remind me of the Braves last year, where everybody offensively had a down year last year. And I think you're going to see guys, like Marcus Semien and Corey Seager and Adolis Garcia, have bounce back years. Josh Young missed a lot of time last year. And then you bring in Jake Berger and Jock Peterson. So I just think there's going to be a ton of home runs there. I think the offense, will definitely carry them. And I think they will get better results out of the starting pitching, maybe that, most people will think. And good news, it looks like Corey Seager will be in the opening day lineup. So obviously he's one of their more, important players. I think it's looking like Josh Young will be as well. So those are obviously two guys that you want in your opening day lineup. Kyle Higashioka as a backup catcher, I think probably one of the best in the league. Had a really good year for the Padres last year. So in a competitive division, I'll have them winning 90 games. And then in second place, I will go with the Houston Astros. Obviously they lose Kyle Tucker and Alex Bregman. It seems like they always seem to churn out, other players are going to step in and be the catalyst. It's going to be interesting to see what Altuve looks like in left. A lot of talk about Dominguez, but I know Altuve had a rough time out there in left field in the spring. You bring in Christian Walker. He obviously has a good track record the last couple of years. Advanced age. We talked about how Yanir Diaz could be one of the better catchers in the league. Isaac Paredes, I think will be solid at third base. Jeremy Pena has been up and down the last couple of years. They're expecting some big things out of him. We know how great Yordan Alvarez is. He could hit 40-plus home runs this year. And then Cam Smith, the top prospects, makes the roster as the starting right fielder, taking over for Kyle Tucker. So I think, the key for them is going to be getting the offense out of those guys, having the better years. And you hope that, for them anyway, they hope that these guys are comfortable, like Altuve being in left field. Now, how does that affect his offense? We'll see. Pitching wise, Valdez has been up and down, but still solid. Hunter Brown was unbelievable after a terrible start last year. You throw in Arrighetti and Ronaldo Blanco. I think that's a solid rotation. Hader and Abreu, 8 and 9. I think that's pretty good. So, I think this team is going to win 87 games. And then in third place, and they're definitely going to be carried by their pitching once again. I think they were the only team in the league last year with 20 starts for 5 pitchers. But the Seattle Mariners have Luis Castillo, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, and Brian Wu. That's about as good as it gets. The bullpen is okay. Munoz isn't bad, but then, a little spotty with the other names there. But just going to be offense. Will Julio Rodriguez and Randy Arozarena bounce back? If they have strong years and you throw that in with Cal Riley and Luke Raley, then, they could be a team that might contend for the division. But I think that's going to be the question mark. And I think they win 82 games. In fourth place, I have the A's winning 75 games. I think a pretty good and probably sneaky good offensive team. Langoliers is solid. And then you have Lawrence Butler and Brent Rooker. Brent Rooker had an unbelievable year last year, 39 home runs, approached the 300 batting average. But it's going to be, what are you going to get from the Gio Urshela's, the Miguel Anduars? And then, of course, pitching, you give Severino all that money. He's your opening day starter. I think the rotation's a big question mark. Jeffrey Springs has missed a lot of times the last couple of years, was really good in Tampa a few years ago. You got JP Sears as well. Bullpen is okay with Leclerc and Ferguson setting up Mason Miller. We know how good he is. So, I have them at 75 wins. And then I think another 50-win team is the Angels. And you feel bad for Mike Trout. Another year without Anthony Rendon, which is probably a good thing. But I just don't think they have enough to compete there. So that's why I have them winning 50 games. And just like that, probably took an hour. That's your divisional preview.
I think we did a great job.
I think we did.
Yeah.
And then just World Series matchup, award winners. What do we got?
World Series matchup, dude.
Let's hear the Mets. Let's hear it.
I think the Mets are going to come out of the NL.
Champions or no?
Yeah.
Champions over.
I mean, I hate to be like, because we were doing this last year, but I think it's going to be over the Yankees.
Wow.
I think it's going to be a Subway Series, World Series. I think there's going to be tremendous amount of competition coming out of both of those divisions. And because of that, we're going to see what we want to see. And we're close to seeing, mind you, last year. Mm-hmm. We're going to see it this year. It's going to be another great year for New York baseball.
So I'm going to go with the Yankees over the Padres. So rematch of 98.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say a 7-game series. And I'm going to say, big that Luis Gil comes back. How about this? World Series MVP. 2 shutout 6-inning starts. The catalyst there, not to mention the young bucks in the offense. So we'll say Yankees in 7 there. And then who do you have for your AL NL MVP?
I mean, it's tough, dude. I mean, AL MVP is going to be Aaron Judge. I mean, it's going to be hard to argue that. But just like how they're going to be playing the Mets in the World Series, NL MVP Juan Soto.
All right, and I'm gonna go with Judge in the American League, and then I kind of alluded to this in my preview. I think Bryce Harper has an unbelievable year. I think he's gonna hit 45 home runs for the Phillies, obviously champions of the East, and losing in a heartbreaker to San Diego in the NLCS.
I can see it.
Cy Young.
Out of the AL, I guess give me Reagan's Kansas City. I think he's gonna be great. Maybe a little bit of a darker horse guy, but he was boasting great numbers last year. I think missed some time with injury with it, which I think hurt his numbers a little bit coming back from it. So say totally healthy, 33 starts, killing it. He's your AL Cy Young. And then out of the NL, give me Skeens. Why not? The guy deserves it. He's gonna have another great year for a team that unfortunately doesn't get a lot of wins, but he's gonna go out there and give it his all. And I don't think there'll be any sophomore slump here for him. So give me Skeens. What about you?
I do agree with Skeens in the NL. I mean, he's just unbelievable. And then, a guy that I think people know, but maybe not know how well he could pitch. I think Logan Gilbert wins it for Seattle. And then what do you got for rookies of the year?
Out of the AL, I do have Jason Dominguez.
There we go.
I do think he's going to have a great year. The Martian, yes, we get it. And I don't know. I just think other rookies, I just don't think that we'll be able to honestly hold a glass of water to him right now.
Right. Let's say Christian Campbell.
Yeah, or Rowan Anthony or whoever, dude. Yeah. And then I guess out of the NL, kind of tough, dude, but I'm going to go with Dylan Cruz, outfielder for Washington, someone I mentioned before. He's going to come in, again, probably almost like where Paul Skeens is in the type of situation. He's going to go out there, giving it his all, killing it for a team that does not get a lot of wins. So give me Dylan Cruz out of the NL.
I hate to be that guy, but I agree with both.
Exactly the same, yeah.
I just think they're the two obvious choices, and I think they're going to have big years.
Yeah, I think so too.
So looking forward to watching them and looking forward, Tony, to this baseball season. It is going to be absolutely tremendous.
Ridiculous. Starting tomorrow.
Yeah, starting tomorrow, starting at opening day.
Yeah, I'm really excited to go.
It's going to be ridiculous. Billies, all of that. What's your World Series matchup, Zach?
I'm gonna mirror Tony because I want to see it. I want to see Mets Yankees. I honestly, I'd be pulling my hair out the entire series, but I think it would be great, and I think that we wanted to see last year, very close to happening. But yeah, I would love to see it this year for sure.
And then I did see while we were doing this, we did have a bunch of comments.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Sorry, I've had my numbers punched up. Let me pull up.
I think a couple chirps at you, Tony. Actually.
Oh really? What the fuck, man? Let's see what we got going on here. All right, so we have the rough sledding, Ernie. Yes. C's, we know. Michael Buckta. Let's see, Donnelly, those two are black and white. The movie she's talking about from the 40s, she says. Wow. Michael Buckta says Mets are getting 96 wins, which is very interesting. Was an important part of baseball.
Which I don't understand the correlation there with the 96 wins.
Very interesting. And then, interesting. Donnelly says my brother-in-law grew up next door to Bill Hand from the Cubs, so the whole family likes the Cubs. The Cubs could have a good year. It's possible. I have them second in the Central here. Josh B says 1.1 in our Dynasty League. What is that?
Pete Crow Armstrong. That's what we
Oh.
took. I think I told you that.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. Michael Buck just says, here we go, dude. Pirates were in their prime from 2013 to 2015 and then just burned and crashed after El Toro, Pedro Alvarez.
I remember him,
left.
but I don't know where he came up with
I
that.
don't know,
I completely
dude.
forgot. Honestly, he retired at 31. I don't know what happens. He
Yeah,
was on the
kind of
Orioles
crazy,
last
dude.
year.
And then he says Padres are no competitors to the Dodgers, he says. And then he wants to know if you've ever gotten into a fight with a Red Sox fan at Yankee Stadium. That's good.
I broke up a fight with one of my friends and a Mets fan a couple years ago.
Whoa. Ace in here says they won 81 games last year and they're better this year.
Overrated. He's talking about the Red Sox.
Oh, the Sox? Okay. And then Josh B says Jose Ramirez could be good.
Yeah, I guess you said that.
I guess so. So
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
I'm
he
just
is. He could be good.
Yeah.
He's gonna. Don't worry about it. JD says Baez talks everywhere he touches lately. And he says Twins 77 wins, dude. That's what I had. 77
he's
wins.
thinking they're going to be better, I guess.
I don't think so, dude.
No, I know.
mean,
I don't see it either.
I can't see it. White Sox 40 maybe. He says bring in Gallo and a starting pitcher this year, which would be pretty funny. And then Bobby Witt MVP, dude. I guess Ace also says could be. What are we doing here? LOL, laughing, terrible. Did I say Bobby Witt could be good?
No, he was talking about Ramirez.
Ramirez.
Yeah, so copying Josh.
All right, yeah, we can just copy Josh, dude. That's fine. Michael Buck, when are we doing the grid, which is probably in momentarily, dude. A's will get 60 wins at most. He says, oh, yeah, Barnes.
Yeah, and I think let's do a sprint grid here.
Why not, dude?
As we're
gotta put my
approaching
own
high
over here.
noon. And I think we're gonna have to close it out with that. But yeah, let's get the grid.
Oh, dude, we do have a Rookie of the Year column for this one.
Let's go.
All
right.
I think I know these, to be honest.
I know them too.
Braves,
David
Justice,
Craig Kimbrell. Either one. I don't know about Justice, but I know Kimbrell. If you know Justice, we can go with it. But
I mean, I know Justice. You think Kimbrell would be higher?
Positive. Oh, I don't know. I don't. As long as you know Justice, then go Justice. David Justice, top right.
Top right.
10-win season is tough, dude.
No, I know that one too.
Did Heel have 10 wins last year?
Yeah, actually, you could just do that.
But will that be really high?
I don't think so.
Why? What do you got?
I was gonna say Jose Fernandez.
Okay.
But either one.
Yeah.
What do you think? Maybe Fernandez?
I would go
Jose Fernandez.
He was
Bottom right.
last year.
Bottom right.
Yeah, 10-win season. Did you do David Justice?
Yes.
Yeah.
How much?
Is it 2013,
2013 to 2016, yeah. 1%. The Dodgers Rookie of the Year.
Nomo?
Hideo Nomo.
Yeah, one of your guys, dude.
One of my guys, yep.
Excuse me. This is where things get a little tough.
And then 10-win season pitching for Tampa, bottom of that column. Chris Archer.
Nice.
9%. And then let's see, for the Braves, for the Dodgers and the Rays, do Ahmed Rosario.
Dodgers and Rays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I spelling this right?
A-H-M.
M-A-E-D.
A-H-M.
E. A-H-M-E.
H-M-E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Just put
Still
Rosario.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just better just to go the last name and
Last
pop in. Yeah,
There
dude.
it is. This one?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
1%.
Let's go, dude.
It's crazy how. Okay, so that's the Mariners.
Did Kelenic was Kelenic with the Braves for a hot minute?
Yeah, you could do that.
Braves,
no,
Seattle?
he is with the Braves.
He's with the
so
so
just
Braves,
top
Seattle.
Middle.
Yeah.
And then
That's a good one.
1 L.
1 L.
And then the end. Or just do Jared. It's Jared, right?
Jared Kelenic.
And then do Kel and should
Yeah.
come up. I don't know what the deal with the spelling is. Why is it not coming up?
It's Kelenic,
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
what I
or
thought.
Kelenic.
No.
Is it Travis Kelenic? No, it's
No.
Hold on. No.
It's Kelenic. There we go.
There we go. Gotcha.
Yeah.
23%. Wow.
Oh, really?
And then
Shit.
Charlie Morton for the Rays and the Braves.
That's a good one. Good old Charlie Morton.
Wow, 25%.
Damn.
And then Dodgers and Seattle. And then also the 10-win season for Seattle. Just trying to think back with Seattle. Trying to think about like Seattle, like dude, Jamie Moyer
For the middle.
Bottom Seattle 10-win. And so we have Mariners, Dodgers left.
Mariners and Dodgers, yeah. Adrian Beltre. What was the score?
113.
Just a couple high ones.
Yeah, a couple of high ones.
Powered through it though. Needed to power through it rapidly.
Yeah, that was quick. That was good though.
And I know we were going to talk about the Rangers, but we're kind of up against it, Tony.
They fucking lost.
Yeah, I mean, right? You're done. Like, it's like, what are we even going to talk about here?
I'm not done. It's not over. I'm going to be still watching. But I did stay up for that game last night, dude.
Regrettably or no?
I guess so.
Yeah.
It's like 1:30 when it was over.
What's the next game?
What is it?
Yeah. When? What?
It is going to be tomorrow. I don't know who we play, to be honest. Let's see, dude. And you know what, dude? It's not tomorrow. It's Friday. Oh, Friday. No. Do they have back-to-back games this weekend? I swear to God that they do. Oh, that's right. West Coast tour. Anaheim, and then San Jose should be.
Okay.
And I wonder if it is back-to-back. It is back-to-back.
So, manageable.
Manageable. I mean, those are the two wins that we have. Those need to be wins, like must wins, dude.
And also, I just wanted to mention this. I know Michael Buck has said a bunch of stuff about Smack Talk and Grids and Ryan Howard, but Ace is talking about World Series. It's terrible. Dodgers going back. It's like, you know what it is, Alan? And I feel like you know this, but it's like, just because there's a popular narrative, nobody can beat the Dodgers, the Yankees aren't good enough, doesn't mean that everybody has to follow suit with that. So I think that's the thing almost that gets like frustrated with me, is like, just in general, when a bunch of people have an opinion about something and we haven't seen one game yet, that it's like, it's determined by what we see on the field. So the people that think they're right about something just automatically say that other people are crazy, but it's like no one's right until the games are played.
Right.
So it's like, what? Like, there's no right or wrong answer.
And you know what, dude? I'm getting a little tired of this Met hate, to be honest. Because not for nothing, this is a team who went to the NLCS last year, and their rotation is arguably the same as it was last season in terms of talent, and then they obviously improved their lineup. So it's like, come on.
Also,
right? How about that?
I think it's just important to say we were the lovable underdogs last year, and now everybody hates us.
Yeah. But, and speaking of that, because Alan, the Yankee fan he is, saying both of y'all have the Yankees, it's like, but the Yankees are still good, Alan. Like, I mean, it's just like, good, you know what I mean? There's this obsession with they're going to be bad. They're going to be bad. Like, it's just like, just let's just play ball. And I think that's a good way to cap off the MLB preview. Let's play ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excited for tomorrow.
I mean, the AL fucking sucks anyway, dude.
All right, Dave. But anyway,
they are not as good as the NL.
I can't wait to be there.
Not as hard.
I can't wait to be there tomorrow. Let me just say that. And I would say great show today. Gaming Corner at 7.
7, dude. Last of Us. Back in the saddle. Mike, Joey, myself, dude. To be sick.
Gotcha. So everybody tune into that. Great having Zach back again here. We'll be talking a lot of baseball with him this year. But we really appreciate all of you who tuned in and continue to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony Michael Renee and Jay in Costume, merch at DowntimeTV.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy Gaming Corner, and we will see you mañana.
Let's go, man.
Hey guys, Tony here. Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.